Welcome to Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure. Keeping you informed on faith and family entertainment.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Faith on Film, where we're always excited about the guests that we bring to you. And today is no exception, is it, Holly?
It is no exception. I'm very excited about it. We've known this guy for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, I had him on, I'm going to say about a year and a half ago when he released a movie. He directed a movie called Night of the Sicario, and he was great to talk to.
We are talking about none other than Joth Riggs, and he is actually worked on a new movie coming out called The Shift, which we are very excited about, and we're going to be talking all about it, about him, his career, and showing you a trailer and much more when we come back, aren't we, Isaac?
That's right. Let's take a look at the trailer now.
Kevin, Molly, hi. I didn't come over here honestly expecting a date, but I feel like that's where this is going. So the idea is what we have some fun and maybe we kiss.
Hopefully.
Fifth date, we are really a part of each other's lives. It's a real thing now. There's the bad thing that happens.
Wait, I'm not cool. What bad thing?
Hey, you're okay.
Nice to finally meet you, Kevin. I'm the benefactor.
Where's the accident? What happened?
There was no accident here.
Where did everybody go?
They didn't go anywhere. You did. There are countless other realities. Imagine everything you have ever wanted. 1,000 versions of you in 1,000 different worlds, all working for me.
Where's my wife?
I shifted her. I can't do this all by myself.
I think the truth is that you're a liar. Your goal is misery.
I prefer the term chaos.
I've seen a bunch of people like us out there looking for a little hope. You're still trying to find that wife of yours. You're clinging, scraps of rumors. I'll find my mom. I don't think the benefactor's gonna shift you back to your wife because you asked nice.
I won't ask nicely. I will find a way.
What do you want from me? Work for me and get back with the woman that you love.
What if the bad thing tears us apart? Does that sound like something either one of us wants to endure?
Isaac and I are very excited about our next guest because we've known him for years. In fact, I've worked on movie sets with him while he was doing his job. Isaac's known him and had him on Faith on Film before. And we are proud to introduce to you Joth Riggs. He has been in the industry over 30 years. He has an amazing career. Okay, I love it. Okay, I'm going to say the early things. First of all, Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers is a cult classic, and I love that film. He worked with Steven Spielberg and Amblin Entertainment. He has done films like we were talking about earlier, Night of Sicario. He directed. He's done so many things, and he was just talking about his 100th film that he just finished. So we are very proud to say, welcome, Joth Riggs.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks, Holly. Thanks, Isaac. Appreciate you guys.
You bet. Now, last time because I had you on about a year and a half ago or so, I believe it was, maybe 2 years ago, and that was when you had done the movie Night of the Sicario, which you, of course, directed. Now, this one, you are an assistant director, first assistant director. How about if we start off by having you tell us, what does a first AD do? Boy, that sounds weird. AD do. What does the first AD do?
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people don't even really know exists. The assistant director basically does everything a director should never have to think about. And AD stands for assistant director. So we basically orchestrate the logistics of the shoot. And we do the scheduling and we run the set. We make sure everything gets in the can, as we say. And we do it so that the director can focus on just getting amazing performances from their actors. and they shouldn't have to worry about getting everybody to the set, where they need to go, what time they need to be there, getting the actors ready, making sure the props are ready, and so on. So we handle everything else, basically.
You do a lot.
Yeah. We're like the ringleader at the circus. We got dancing bears over here, flaming hoops and tigers over here, and
you are. Well, you just did. I know you were talking a lot about your 100th film, and then we've also talked about The Shift. You've been in career a long time, but The Shift was that a fun film, interesting film to work on? Tell people a little bit about what it's going to be about. It's opening December 1st, but what is it about? And is it something that's for teens, adults, just adults only? Is it family? What is The Shift about?
Yeah, it is a sci-fi in the faith-based world, essentially. So it's essentially sort of a modern or even a futuristic telling of the Job story. So it's a character that is tempted with opportunity to have everything they want, but follow who's called the benefactor in this story, who is essentially like a Satan character. But he has to give up his life the way he had it, and but the sci-fi factor is he ends up in this other world, sort of like it's a multiverse. And when he turns down the benefactor, he has to try and find his way back to his world, to the love of his life, and it's a very interesting, unique story that nothing like this has been told in this space, which is really why I wanted it for the monumental movie of my 100th. It was unique, it was different, and it's a lot of fun, and it is family friendly. I mean, there's some adult themes, but nothing you can't take it to.
Okay, so is it older kids, preteens to adults, 8, 9, 10-year-olds?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's it. Just like it looks so interesting. It's been getting a lot of buzz on social media, so for sure it's kind of in the crosshairs of Christians and saying, "Ooh, this is a new film coming out," and it's nice to hear. So knew what you did after you just gave an introduction of your job, and how much more you probably had to do on this. Was it in location in California, or was it other locations?
We actually shot in Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had some really great sets there. You know, the thing about it being a multiverse is that we had different worlds, different looks in the film. So from an AD's perspective, it was a very complicated shoot because, you know, our character would have different looks in this location. And there was a lot of bouncing around. We had over 200 scenes we had to film, which that's a lot more than your average film. So
wow.
It was busy shoot. A lot of fun though.
And you get to see all quiet on set, don't you?
Yeah. All the cliches. Yeah.
You have mentioned 124 films and then 120 films. What's the difference there?
Well, I've done 100 as an assistant director.
Okay.
I've done approximately 120 something all in.
Total film.
Production assistant, producer, director. Yeah. So obviously the bulk of my career has been ADing. And I love it, but I've been doing a lot of directing lately as well. So I like to keep people guessing. It's been fun.
I bet.
Okay, you've also got a director's course out there, right? That you're working on as far as that goes.
Yeah, actually, it's completed now. I have it out there. So it's an online course that basically tells people how to direct a film from start to finish, from script to screen, I say. And the difference with this one is that it gets into the nuts and bolts. So many directing courses out there are really about film theory, and they're very big picture minded. This is about sort of the day to day. You know, what's the first thing you do when you land on set each day? What's the second thing you do? You know, when you're shooting a scene, in what order should you shoot the scenes? How do you get your coverage? You know, there's thousands of little details that are rarely talked about in directing courses. They tend to paint with really broad brushes. And so this is for all those people who say, gosh, I mean, I know what I want. How do I get there? You know, what are the little details that I need to know to get my film done? From the concept point where you start to come up with the story, all the way through to delivery and the red carpet. So it's very thorough.
Wow. Has anybody gone, have you had people go to your course and then now they're doing something or working on a film and they owe it all to you for telling them about it?
Well, I mean, I won't say owe it all to me, but honestly, Brock Heasley, the director of The Shift, took my course.
Oh my
This
God.
is actually his first feature film, and he took my course before directing The Shift. But I have had, I've had lots of students, and I've had lots of people that have gone on to direct films that have credited my course. Yeah.
So would there be an opportunity for somebody who took your course, for instance, that you would then bring them along as sort of a, I don't know, somebody that, be alongside with you as maybe you're working on a film? As an intern?
Well, as an intern. I mean, I'm always open to internships in general. The big thing for me is that I travel a lot, so it usually depends on where we are. But yeah, I mean, I'm always open to that. I also have an opportunity through my website, which is directingyourmovie.com, to come on and consult on a film. So if somebody, and I've done that as well, for new directors that kind of want somebody to sort of walk them through it as they go, as they're directing. I do that as well. So, yeah, so some people like having the security of somebody right there who's, been down this road a whole bunch of times. And so there's a lot of different opportunities for involvement on productions.
Your career, I know Isaac and I were talking earlier, your career spans over 30 years. And, when you started off, I was reading earlier, you were working for some bigger studios. You worked on sitcoms, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. You've worked on several different TV sitcoms as well as films, and then you've worked on faith-based films and numerous ones of those. It doesn't seem to have hurt your career with the secular and faith-based. You've got enough talent there that I think people are seeing it. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how, like, when you started off, did you start off thinking you were going to be doing what you're doing now? Did you know that then?
Well, to be honest with you, yeah, I thought that I was going to do faith-based films. But when I started 31 years ago, actually, there weren't any. They didn't exist. It just wasn't really a thing. And so I tried to find opportunities wherever I can get them. Funnily enough, I actually did do a series of films for Focus on the Family Films. Back in the early 90s, they had a film division that they since shut down. It might even be back again, but I did a series called The Last Chance Detectives as a production assistant. And but that was really all I could find in the faith-based world back then.
You're so right.
I did end up working with the studios and so on, but fast forward almost 20 years later, and faith-based films had started to become a thing. Mm-hmm. It was really Fireproof that kind of started to move the needle as far as I'm concerned. That was the one that started getting people thinking they could do it. Now, here's the other difference is over that period of time, the barrier to entry in film had dropped dramatically because we were no longer shooting on 35 millimeter celluloid Panavision cameras. Now you're shooting with digital cameras that are much more affordable. And you don't necessarily have to make something that can go play in theaters now. We have streaming as an opportunity. So all of these things have allowed the market outside of Hollywood to start bringing product, which is why our faith-based film community has gotten so much bigger and stronger as a result. Yeah. So it's allowed me to stay busy doing faith-based stuff.
I've seen people literally shoot an entire film with this right here.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing.
It's true.
Yeah, the lenses on these things are amazing. I mean, there's limitations, obviously, but you know what? If you're creative enough, you can really shoot something really nice with these things. I do want to go back just briefly to The Shift, because I'm a huge fan of Neil McDonough, and he was, of course, in this film. How was it working with him?
It was actually my fourth movie with Neil McDonough. He is amazing. Love working with him, very professional, and just brings a whole new element to the characters that he embodies. And it's a great pleasure. And it's also fun, I mean, in his case, he does a lot of bad guy characters in his career. And, it's fun getting to know him as a person. He's a very warm, loving family man. And then you call action, and he turns on another character, you know. So it's a lot of fun to watch, but he's a great professional.
He's really, he's one of those that's been on Yellowstone. I mean, he's been on everything and played these characters. Yeah. And he came out last year and said he was doing even his own production company in Florida, last we heard. And that he felt it was important to, you know, first of all, was it that he doesn't kiss another woman? I'm trying to remember what it's
That's
about.
what I had read, yes.
Yeah, he doesn't kiss another woman, and he tries not to use profanity. And I just love that because he plays these bad characters, but if you really watch it, he does it with such skill, he doesn't do any of that. So it's interesting.
Yeah. He's got some great lines of, you know, integrity, and you know, it's great because it adds so much to the characters because he finds other ways to bring the performances, you know. So yeah, it's great fun to watch.
Well, Joth, are you going to be like trying to get more into directing, and how hard is it to be a director or get in mainstream to be a director?
Well, what's interesting is that as an assistant director, I'm not really responsible for the content. I'm just responsible for making it all work. As a director, I have a much higher standard on the kind of product that I want to be involved in because, yeah, the content is on me, so to speak, right? And the delivery and the performances. So I turn down a lot more than I take as a director, you know, because I want it to be a really great film. And so it's got to be a great script. It's got to be great on the page if you ever expect it to be great down the road. It's got to have great story, plot, character, and so I'm constantly on the hunt for good stuff. I'm writing a script right now as we speak, and some exciting stuff in the future.
What's
You're
that
a writer
about?
too.
Can you share? Yeah, can you share? You got some new things coming up?
Well, I have an action thriller that we have in development, and then the one I'm writing is similar. It's actually about a hitman who develops a conscience.
Ooh.
So that'll be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah. Now, Joth, I don't know if you remember this, but you and I were on a panel, I don't know, 3 years ago or so at the International Christian Film Festival in Florida. And I don't know if you remember one of the comments that I made that I had not planned on making. It just sort of came out. And that was that I mentioned that producers should maybe start thinking about doing Christian horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? And first of all, everybody wanted, I think, to throw me off the stage. They looked at me like, what in the world is this guy saying? I've since changed it to thriller. And I say that because you just mentioned thriller, because when I say horror, people just seem to freak out. What is your thought on that? I mean, do you think that we need more of those thrilleristic horror type films, but with a Christian message, a message of redemption?
Well, to be honest with you, we need more genre films in the faith-based.
Yes.
You know, they shouldn't all be the same kind of movie, which is one reason I really like The Shift. It's sci-fi. That's unique. So yeah, thrillers and action and suspense. I mean, those are all great storytelling tools that faith-based filmmakers are underutilizing. You know, those are all great ways to tell a compelling story. Now, you know, you can still have similar themes and similar messages, but, you know, wrapped in a package of intrigue and excitement. That's the bottom line, is the movie has to be entertaining, especially if you have a message that you want to be effective. Right? It's no good if it's in a broken vessel, right? I mean, you want that message to be in a package of film entertainment so that the audience enjoys it and tells their friends and passes it along. And but yeah, we got to do that by, I think, expanding our palette of, you know, interesting filmmaking and stories.
Well, on that note, because pick about that, you and I have even talked about this before. What would you say, and you may not want to be blunt, but I wish you would. What would you say to Christian filmmakers now? How can they get better? Like, what are they doing that's wrong? How can they break out and do what you're talking about? Because everyone wants to be so safe and have the scriptures and have the message and have the redemption and have the end thing where everyone's saved. And, you know, it's like, come on. And people that try to be brave, like Redeeming Love with Cindy Bond and other films, they get bashed for this or bashed for that. It's such a hard audience to please, but what would your suggestion be? Because you've been in it a long time and so experienced. What would you say?
Yeah, admittedly, it is a fickle market. You do have to be careful, understandably. But basically, you've got to use more subtlety and nuance in your story. And, you understand the underlying themes, but that does not have to be, right on top, right on the surface, because if your viewers are spoon-fed, that's just not as interesting, right? People like to want to reach for something. They want to try and explore a topic and try and discover it. If you just shove it in their face, right? If somebody gives you food, you don't want them putting it in your mouth, right? You want to say, that looks good. I want to reach out and get that myself. See, now me as a viewer, I'm starting to own that material, right? I'm now invested in it. And so you can't lay everything out for them. You have to let the viewers find it out and discover it. So we really need more subtlety. The other thing is, to be honest with you, faith-based filmmakers need to not be afraid of Hollywood. And I say that meaning the professionals who have been doing this for 100 years. There's so many that don't want to learn from people in the secular film industry, but they're the ones who do it the best. You don't have to copy their messaging, but you really should be looking to their technique on how to make a good film, how to tell a good story.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. On their skills. Good. You always want to improve on your skills, and we want to have excellence. You can't get excellence if you don't learn.
Yeah, and I always say, know enough to know you don't know enough.
I like that.
Learning. And I say that in my course because when I worked at Amblin Entertainment, I remember Steven Spielberg saying that he still studies the masters.
Oh, wow.
And he's the top of the game. And if he still thinks he has something to learn about filmmaking, we all do, for sure.
We absolutely do. Isaac, did you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I have to mention this. You do the most gorgeous pictures. I mean, the photos you put on Instagram, people go to his social media, and we're going to have to give that out because your photos that you do on shoots are breathtaking, each and every one of them. I would love to do a whole wall with some of the Western ones you've done and what you.
Yeah, there's one right there, actually. That's...
Yes. I'm not telling you. You folks, you can't believe me. Go to his website. Go to his Instagram. Go to
Facebook, actually. Instagram drops into little squares because they tend to be very cinematic. Facebook's the place to go.
Can people order them?
Yeah, actually, yeah. And in fact, the person in that picture has that same thing on their wall as well. Yeah. If people want to reach out to me, I've sold dozens. In fact, Kingdom Story has a framed photo that I took on Jesus Revolution in their offices.
Oh my gosh. Well, we are going at Capernaum Studios. You took several of the shoot you were on was it Bringing Back Christmas that you were on?
Yeah.
I think it was. And you had gorgeous ones. So we're going to put some of those and frame those and put them in the office because we're doing a Bringing Back Christmas tour at Capernaum. So it's interesting. So your photos will be featured as well because they're gorgeous. So I want to let you guys know you can order these pictures. Go to Facebook and sign up for his course. Again, Isaac, where can they sign up for his course?
Well, it'll be right there in the bottom, Joth. Give it out, but I know it'll be right at the bottom of the screen.
Directingyourmovie.com.
Here we go.
Did I go backwards?
Directingyourmovie.com.
It'll be right there.
Right there. I saw some photos of you up in Alaska. Do you have a future film coming up there?
I do. It's in the works. Of course, maybe your viewers would know right now that we're in a strike. So we are still kind of tiptoeing around our preparation, waiting for that all to come to a conclusion. But yes, there is something in the works.
Now that would be an independent film, right?
That's right.
So in essence,
we're not shooting, but we're not shooting. We're waiting for the strike to end.
Yeah, but I saw some great pictures of Alaska, so I knew you had these gorgeous pictures, and that's usually what you're giving tips to where you're going to be doing the next film. So
yeah, there's a lot of little clues in my social media.
A lot of clues. Oh, we've loved having you on. I mean, this has been so informative, and this is going to help so many people interested in getting in filmmaking, but they kind of really don't, like you said, maybe know all that's involved. They can take your course, learn it, and come out and do movies like The Shift. That's so funny that he directed and he took your course. That's kudos to you, Joth. Kudos to you.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Well, thanks so much for having this chat with me, guys. I love it. It's a lot of fun, and I love sharing it with others.
We loved having you on. Thank you so much. And keep us in touch with your next film because we want to have you back talking about that too.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
You bet. We'll be right back, folks.
Hi, I'm Joth Riggs, and I'm the assistant director on The Ship, and you're watching Faith on Film.
Well, thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Faith on Film. Certainly hope that you enjoyed our conversation with Joth Riggs. Now, you may not be a filmmaker yourself, but you may know someone who wants to be a filmmaker or is a filmmaker and could use the classes that Joth holds. So I would highly recommend that you let them know about those classes. You never know, you might have the next Spielberg on your hands. Anyway, The Shift, releasing this December 1st. But if you're watching this program weeks or even months later, then certainly look for it because it'll be streaming somewhere. Now, we want to leave you today with the trailer once again so that you can see how wonderful this movie is. Take care.
Kevin, Molly, hi. I didn't come over here honestly expecting a date, but I feel like that's where this is going. So the idea is we have some fun and maybe we kiss.
Hopefully.
5th date, we are really a part of each other's lives. It's a real thing now. Now there's the bad thing that happens.
Wait, hold on. What bad thing?
Hey, you're okay.
Nice to finally meet you, Kevin. I'm the benefactor.
Where's the accident? What happened?
There was no accident here.
Where did everybody go?
They didn't go anywhere. You did.
There are countless other realities. Imagine everything you have ever wanted. 1,000 versions of you in 1,000 different worlds, all working for me.
Where's my wife?
I shifted her. I can't do this all by myself.
I think the truth is that you're a liar. Your goal is misery.
I prefer the term chaos.
I've seen a bunch of people like us out there looking for a little hope. You're still trying to find that wife of yours. You're clinging to scraps and rumors. I'll find my mom. I don't think the benefactor's gonna shift you back to your wife because you asked nice.
I won't ask nicely. I will find a way. What do you want from me?
Work for me and get back with the woman that you love.
What if the bad thing tears us apart? Does that sound like something either one of us wants to endure?
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Faith on Film TV, and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications on our latest Faith on Film shows.